Well, hello YouTube. I'm out on the Royal Enfield Himalayan again. Happy days. Well, what a weekend I had at the Lake District. Was unbelievable. Far exceeded expectations. And preparation for the bike, all I did was clean the chain, oil it, didn't want adjusting, check the oil, check the tyre pressures and take my top box off. The reason I took the top box off so I could put things across the saddle and across the panniers. Things like a roll-up mat and my tent, things like that. Because of all the bad weather that they've been having up in the Lake District, I chose to go up the A1 and the A66. And I wouldn't normally choose them ways. I'd probably go on country roads. But I've got to say that the Himalayan, it went beautiful. Cruised easily at 65 to 70 mile an hour. And once you get above Weatherby, going north, quietens down a lot, does the A1. And it wasn't a bad ride. And to be honest with you, it was sunny all the way up to the A66. The problems began when I was on the A66 getting towards Perth. Well, it wasn't a problem really, it was just a rainfall of biblical proportions. I have never seen rain like it. It was coming sideways through my visor. And I must admit, I pulled up under a tree just to get a bit of shelter. Amazingly, the only thing that took water, which I knew they would, were the gloves, which are the gloves what I'm wearing now. And I knew they weren't waterproof anyway, but I did have some waterproof gloves with me. My hands were absolutely wet through. The jacket, I wore the waxed cotton jacket, what I was talking about in a previous video, the Merlin jacket, and I was lovely and warm and dry. Nothing went through. Nothing went through my boots or my over trousers either. So, you know, I came away feeling, well, at least my clothing's alright. And the bikes, well, all three of the bikes, they performed magnificently. Everything you threw at them, and believe you me, there were some right almost rivers, streams running across the road, and everything were getting splashed up and wet and everything, and it didn't make any empathy difference to the bikes. They just kept soldiering on. And even with all the rain and what have you, my bike was as sure-footed as I don't know what. It never moved once. Admittedly, you weren't flying about because of the wet roads and the big deep puddles, but I can't speak highly enough of it, of the Himalayan. It was fantastic. And I absolutely loved it. And the roads, what we went on, all the passes, and I know I filmed them with the GoPro, but you cannot appreciate how steep they were, and loads of wet leaves and big puddles, as I've said. And the Himalayan, it just took everything in its stride, and I loved the engine braking. First to second gear going down the hills, lovely controlled fashion, didn't even have to use the brakes, and I really did enjoy it, and you could feel it, you know, chugging away and all going at a safe speed. And then going up the hills, you got it in say third or fourth gear and just let it go and do its thing, and it was almost digging holes in tarmac. There's that much torque. Ideal bike for job, but I'm not saying that other bikes aren't ideal for job as well. But I was very, very pleased with the Himalayan. But I suppose I am a bit biased anyway because I've got one. The one thing I did do before I went off on my adventure, I bought a new tent. I saw the weather forecast and thought, and I went to go outdoors and bought an OEX tent, and you've probably seen my video where I was woken up in the night with the wind and the rain, and a bit of that tent leaked. It was absolutely bang on, and I was lovely and warm and snug as a bug. I can't speak highly of it. And Dave Island, he lives up at near Cockermouth, and so he was our guide, and he took me places I've never been to in my life before, and these passes I would never have found them, and my internal compass, never mind about the Himalayan compass, was absolutely shattered. I didn't know which direction I was going from 1 minute to the next. I was that lost. I'd have never have found my way home if it weren't for good old Dave. And oh, the passes we went on, they're absolutely beautiful and just right. Just absolutely right for tootling about on an Himalayan. I wouldn't have wanted to go any faster. Absolutely bang on. I love this little road. As you may have guessed with this route I'm going to go to Squire's Cafe and see if some of my friends are there. I've just been to the cafe and had a sit down with my mates. It's a shame it rained a bit on a night and we couldn't get well, we did have a fire going, but we got rained off and it was back into the tent, but luckily there was a pub on site, so that wasn't a problem. And coming home, me and Wazza, we went on the A66 again, and oh, it was freezing cold going over the Pennines, and I am so glad I put heated grips on, because my fingers were getting so cold, and I couldn't believe what a difference it made, heated grips. So glad I put them on. And petrol wise again, didn't use much petrol at all. I think we did about 450 miles or something like that, and I filled up in the lakes. I filled up when I set off, I filled up in the lakes, and I filled up when I came home, and that was it. trouble is petrol's gone up that much. I can't really gauge on by price how much to compare it with previous journeys, because I never take no notice of litres. It's always how much it costs. I'm a typical Yorkshireman. Anyway, it went absolutely fine, and the Himalayan, absolutely wonderful, very sure-footed motorcycle even in the wet. Absolutely brilliant. So I'm getting near home now, so I'll sign off. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.